In the age of AI, algorithms, virtual realities, and metaverse, it is more important than ever to put human experiences and sensitivities back at the center stage. We need people who can create innovative experiences beyond sensorily overloaded spectacles, and those that help us reclaim our senses, sensitivity, empathy, and humanity. The transdisciplinary programs nurture students to become well-versed not only in art and culture, but also in technology and entrepreneurship. By the time of graduation, students will have a strong portfolio of achievements in one of the three focused concentrations: visual, sound, and technology, as well as with internship credentials. Graduates will be specialists ready for emerging forms of arts and culture and the creative industries for today and tomorrow. Good afternoon, everybody. So this is a JUPAS portfolio submission preparation seminar or some kind of consultation. So I'm going to, good afternoon, everybody first. And maybe before I start, just want to see who you are, and if any of you can, if you are intending to apply to this year's program, can you make a note in the chat box? If you're applying to the arts and technology program, can you say hi in the chat box? Anyone? Anyone intending to apply to the arts and technology program this year? No? No one is intending to apply. So, so for the other participants of today, you are joining because you were, yeah, maybe why don't you also leave a note in the chat box, like what makes you want to join today's program? Is it down the road, maybe not for this year, next year you're thinking of applying, or you're just curious about the program? Anyone like to say a word or two in the chat box? Interested in art, great. And maybe can you tell me which year of study you are in at the moment? Like, are you in Form 6 or Form 5, or you're also studying in university or college at the moment? Anyone? Form 5. Cindy is in Form 5. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Very quiet. Form 6. So cool. And we also have Wing Chin wanting to change his major. So I suspect, Wing, you are now studying somewhere and not in this major, and you're thinking of switching. That's very good. Thank you very much. So that would be very helpful, because this consultation is for you. So if you can let me know more about your background, then maybe I can tell you a little bit more. So thank you again for joining. And I do have a standard PowerPoint that I will share with you just very quickly. Some of you who, if you have gone to our website, you may have seen some of these materials. So I'll try to be quick. And afterward, we will have time for you for questions. So I'll play a short video clip first.
Great. So as you can see, there are 3 concentrations that you can choose in your senior year. And oops. And just to give you some flavor of our program. So for the interview, for part 1 is the DSE results. So I hope you have had a good DSE exam if you have just done this. So, and so for the admission requirements, 50% of the calculation is based on your DSE results. And then the other 50% will be based on the portfolio. So if you are interested, there is a portfolio guideline, and you can also scan the QR code for the guideline. So what is required in the portfolio? Don't feel very intimidating. It's actually very, very simple. We would like to see 5 works from you, 4 creative works, and 1 writing. Okay. And what we mean here, creative, we want to see a portfolio of your creative works that reflects your strengths in creative practice. So by the way we put creative here, we mean your ability to create an original content. So it can be actually very open what you submit. It can be any media you want to submit, and I'll give you some examples in a second. So one of the aspects is the creative works, and you will also be submitting a writing, and the writing can be anything about arts and technology. So you can also write about your own work, or it can be a review of an exhibitions or technology. It can also be homeworks that you have done for some subjects relating to arts and technology. That is also fine. Okay, so now, as I said, creative works, it can be in traditional art form or media. So it can be drawings or paintings or photography and videos and installations, or maybe you do performances. So let's say it may not be with technology. Maybe you play the piano, you play the guitar, you sing, you dance, you do theater. Those are all great portfolio to submit to. Or you have participated in some kind of cultural events, you do storytelling, you do say some participated in some cultural events in some parks or festivals. That's also very welcome. If you have composed any music, etc., etc., those are very, very welcome. So and yeah, even with your today with your phone, you can do a lot of photographies and videos. And if you say you have edited some YouTube videos that you upload on YouTube, those things could also be considered creative works. The creative works can also be relating to technology. So let's say you have done some augmented reality works. For instance, if you were unfamiliar with this, if you have actually an Apple iPhone, you can easily download something like the Apple Reality Composer, and it's very easy to use, and you can already create some AR content to play with. And or maybe you have in some of your high school subjects, you have written codes, say codes in any programming language, and you can also submit the codes as your creative works as well. So really, you can submit anything you like to demonstrate your creativity in relation to arts and technology. It can also be STEAM type of projects. So if you have played with these, say this is a Raspberry Pico chips, you do some electronics that has some sensors built in, or some sensors that you hook up to. And those could also be very, very good creative arts portfolio pieces for your for submission. Some of you may say, "Oh, it is COVID and I cannot go out. And what can I do?" So I'm just showing some examples here where, say, this is a project by an artist. His name is Terry Ng, and he, for some reasons, could not leave home as well. He has to stay at home. So what he did was he was going around his neighborhood, just like a photographer, but taking these snapshots through Google Map, Google Earth. But as a photographer, you also see the world with a photographer's lens. So you frame the images in a particular way. You place images next to each other in a particular way. So you can still be a photographer on Google Map, although you may not have taken that 360 degrees shots yourself, but you are also editing that 360 degrees shots. And you do, for example, here you can see this kind of rectangular framing. It's also your own artistic decision, creative decisions. So you can do a photography portfolio piece just by even being on Google Map, so you don't have to leave home. Or another lockdown example is this exercise that we do in year 1. We ask students to create a food portrait. So instead of drawing your own face as a portrait of your own, here you make a dish or a drink or a dessert that reflects who you are. For example, your name may have some special meanings, or maybe your characteristics, your personality. There's something that is about you. You want to turn it not into an image, but what about turning it into a drink or a dessert? How is that going to reflect about who you are? So that can also be a very interesting creative examples, creative portfolio you include in your submission. Or another example is, how about making an animal safari soundscape by just the objects around you? So even when if you have maybe a door that is rusting a little bit, when you close it, when you open the hinge, you can hear some very high frequency sound, something like that. And when you play with it, actually you can make it as an ensemble of many animal sound. And if you mix it with your if you have a simple softwares on your phone or in your computer, you can mix these sounds. You can make a sound of a safari with many animals, as if that you're actually placing a lot of sounds together with sounds from your everyday life. So there are all kinds of things you can do. Have fun, make something creative, and again, we would like to see 4 of these entries. Some of it can be just drawings and paintings and sketches, or some of it can be those examples relating to technologies or anything else you choose. You can also make a cake and submit it as a creative input. So once you have uploaded your portfolio, we do have a link, and thanks Janet for uploading this link for you to upload your portfolio. We want you to package everything into a PDF. If you have videos, etc., you can also place the link there. Or if you say you have a website as your entry, you can also submit your link. So in your PDF file or Word document file, you have all the links ready, and so we can find those files we need to search for. And then once you're done with that, we will invite you to an interview. So during the interview, we will continue to look at your portfolio. So during the interview, you can also bring in new works, or we can also look at the works that you have submitted already. and that will account for 50% of the assessment, and another 50% will be the interview itself. So how well you communicate your ideas, and there's also something we call professionalism. So your attitude, your work ethics, and how well you self-manage, etc., etc. Those would be something that we would like to look at during the interview. Yeah, so that's more or less tips that we have for you for the interview. And so today we do have time for you to raise any questions. And if you do have any questions, you can simply type in the chat box, or if you like, you can also unmute yourself and let us know your question. And we're here to help answer anything you like to raise. So anybody? It can be about the portfolio submission, or it can be about this program, or yeah, if you have any questions about, say, the future career paths, or you're a bit confused of what to choose in the future, yeah, whatever you would like to ask. Anyone? And if you feel like you want to ask your questions in Cantonese or in Chinese, that's also very welcome as well. Great, so we have a question now. Wayne Chi, what if I obtain 5 stars in VA, but level 2 in Chinese? Now, so let me go back to, yeah, so that is, we have this guideline that the submission has to be 4 HKDSE core subjects plus 2 best unspecified elective subjects. So it looks like for Chinese and English language, we do need level 3 or above to qualify. Is that correct, Janet?
Yes, students are required to get level 3 in both Chinese and English. So yeah. This is the general admission requirement of the university.
Yeah, so this is the general admission requirements. Although what you can also consider in the future is right now, if you're applying through the JUPAS routes, then you will have to comply with this. But let's say if you go into another program and then you want to switch into this program in a later stage, then you can apply yourself as non-JUPAS, and the non-JUPAS guideline will be different. And then we will also look at then the non-JUPAS scores and also do the interviews then. So that's also another future option. Is that correct, Janet?
Yes, students could apply for another international examination like IGCSE. If I'm not correct, maybe Manson can correct me, and to take another international examination to fulfill the Chinese requirement.
Yeah, Manson, do you have something maybe you can
Actually, this program admits students from different academic background. That means if you have you fail in TSE this year and you go to study AD program, and later on you can apply to this program with your AD results. But for this Wing Chi, I would like to tell you that if you got 2 star in TSE but fail in Chinese, for example, if you got 5 double star in one subject or 2 subjects with 5 star, then you will still be specially considered by our program, because we have a special consideration scheme for those students who have 2 star in the DSE result but fail in one subject by one level only. That is level 2 in Chinese. Yeah.
Oh, that's very good to know. Thank you very much, Manson, for this. So what you're saying, Manson, is if Wing gets level 2 in Chinese, but there is also other ways for him to be considered into this program. Okay, great. So Wenqi, have we answered your question, you think? So the recommendations is please apply it anyway, and then we'll try to sort it out later. Okay, great, thank you. Okay, any other questions? So thank you, Wenqi, for this question. Anyone else? Don't be shy. Okay, I will give us another 10 seconds or 20 seconds or so. Okay, 10 more seconds. Anyone? Okay, that's fine. So if there are no more questions, then again, I will leave my email in the chat box, and it is skng@hkbu.edu.hk, and I'm Kingsley Ng, the program director of this autumn technology program. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me. And yeah,